Hello, and welcome to Khyber Shards, a 5th edition actual play show set in the Eberron campaign world. Colin, what happened last time?
We got home.
Yay!
That's where the good times ended. Because then we went and talked with Thora, and everything is bad in Stormreach. We found out that there is literature being dispensed, that is being passed around about aberrant marked killing machines, and that the houses are just kind of cool with it, or they're fully in support of it. And so Thora told Dane that he was right, and then just quit on the conversation and exited stage left. And then we had a spirited conversation about the best course of action, which some of us knew and felt was right, and the rest of us know is right, but don't feel like doing it so much. Dane left to go make a killing machine his own, and everybody went to bed. Pog went and talked to Minnie at the Church of the Silver Flame, and then everyone went to bed. I think I got it.
It's going to be a containment unit, Colin. It's a containment unit.
Are you saying that for Dane or for the houses?
The Dane's making. He's going to make
he's
going to make
a killing machine. Though he's making a sentinel.
We need to find what contain means in order to know what that machine will do.
Well, rearrange you so that you can be contained in a very small box.
Yeah.
And then kept securely 6 feet under the earth. Are we long rested? Are we? You have to click that button.
Does everyone, in fact, go to bed?
Pog's about an hour later than the rest when he comes home. Yes.
Yeah. You are able to sleep through the night. You can take your long rest.
Huzzah! Because I already did it in between episodes. Because I assumed we all went to bed.
Well, you were optimistic that he wasn't going to throw things at us in the middle of the night.
Eric being optimistic.
If he did, I was going to be like, oh, Philip, I already hit the button. No.
That'll talk him down. Just count all your spell slots as used and cut your HP in a third. You're okay.
I still would have come out better than I left it.
So you get up in the morning, at whatever time you do. What's the plan?
Pog made breakfast plans in front of the group, so he's off to have breakfast with Solarka.
Ari has under his arm a handful of invitations/notes that he's written out, but obviously has not sent out yet to the various people that he name dropped as being possible allies in the new social club that they're talking about forming.
It's a social club.
What will your old social club think, Ari? What about the anarchists?
Greg's dead, okay?
He was not the entire club.
We
There was
have
that
to invite them.
other person that we made up in the moment.
No, we didn't
Well
make her up at the
remembered.
moment. She was my NPC connection.
Oh, right. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Pog got
Boy,
Solarka. I got the person we can't even remember who their name is.
you never made it important.
Oh, what's her face? You know.
You could have chosen to make that person important.
I know.
Apparently,
I
she
just
thinks
really
you're the
want to
Messiah.
quickly point out
Right?
that my opposition that I chose were the Moon Spears.
Oh,
And so
that's
my
crazy.
opposition became
Oh yeah, that's right. Because he was
Became
like
our
he was like a rival
strongest
Thunder
allies.
guide.
So-
Yeah.
Casey's making big brain planes over there. Sure, Philip, I'll take a rival.
I just felt like flirting with Philip one night. That's the reason that I got Solarka and things.
So yeah, Ari comes downstairs with those and goes and grabs breakfast in the kitchen and says hi to whoever is there.
The usual people: Arlo, Mrs. B.
Good morning.
Shade
Shade at some point, probably. I don't know.
grabs her coffee and heads to the grove.
Ah.
Nice.
Hi, Shade. Okay, bye.
I'll take
Morning.
this to go.
Morning.
I'm just gonna go talk to River.
Yep.
As you go out, Shade, you see Thora sitting in a chair off on one side of the big long front porch with a table next to her. She appears to have a cup of tea, and she's watching out on the lawn. Ezri is giving a botany lesson about the proper composting techniques.
Gross.
As he does.
And the many wonderful things that one can do with compost.
Not auditing that class.
Yeah, I'm not sticking around to listen. I do wave to Thora though.
Yep. She nods, gives you a smile. And yeah, you can cross over to the grove.
And then I go up to River's tree and I do speak with plants. That's how we did it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Excellent. I remember things.
And after a moment, the tree shifts a little, and you can hear River's voice. Hello.
Hi. How are you?
I am very well. How long has it been?
It's been
Days.
accurate amount of time.
Sure, yeah. Wow. It is very hard to know that here.
Oh, how long has it been there?
I don't really know how to explain that.
Time is hard.
It is, yes. But things are very well here. Everything seems to be all right in the grove. How are things there?
Oh, they are not good. That is yeah. It's not going well. We've definitely done some things successfully, but they don't seem to have made things better. And I really respect what you're doing. How you have become and provided such a place of protection for people and creatures and anybody in need. And so I just wanted to ask you some questions about how you do that, if that's okay.
All right.
How do you keep them protected? It's kind of a big question. Yeah.
The story that I told to shape this place means that anyone who comes into the grove hunting one of the creatures whose story makes them take refuge in the grove, the trees and the other things in the grove kill them, or trap them, or wrap them in brambles and vines. That's how I keep the things that live here safe. Is the story that I tell means that the forest does that to anyone who comes pursuing people who need to find a place where they can be safe.
Do you find if there's a more effective way to keep them safe between like the killing the pursuers or the trapping them?
A lot of the things that come pursuing things into my grove are also pursuing them because it's part of their story. And if the story ends with them becoming trapped, then eventually they'll be free again. And if the story ends with them dying, eventually they'll be alive again. If people from your world came, then I guess it wouldn't work that way for them. If they became wrapped up in the trees, it wouldn't ever let them out because they don't have a story here. Well, they're not the story here. And if it killed them, I think that if someone from your world died here, they would just be dead. If I understood dying right.
Yeah, I think that's right too.
I was never very sure if I understood dying right because it also seems to have to do with color.
Yes, but separately they're the same word but not connected. Which doesn't make sense. If it's the
That-
same word, it's definitely connected, right?
I thought so, but
But not always.
are you not safe?
No, I am not safe, but I'm also worried about the people that I'm supposed to protect. And
Do you want to
I
bring
don't
them
know.
here?
Oh gosh, yes, I think about that often. I don't know that that's where they want to be though.
Oh,
Because some of them have families here.
I could bring their families.
I will definitely present it as an option. But I want to protect them. And I also want to change the mind of everybody I come into contact with. But I don't know how to do all of those things.
I don't understand how to do that because here you can't really change someone's mind because what their mind is like is their story. So you can't convince Ponderous to get to the point faster because then he would not be ponderous.
Right. And
It seems like only when things break and have to be fixed that people's minds get changed. Like Thistle is different from what her story was before, but that's because now she is here and she's sort of part of my story now. And so she is different, sort of, because her story changed because it got tangled with mine.
and I'm trying to figure out if the people in my world are more or less like the people in the stories. I don't know how many of them can change and be different, or how many of them are just going to keep doing and thinking the same thing because that's what they've always done.
It seemed like people in your world can change, but that they don't like to.
Yes, that's true, and sometimes that feels like they can't change. But I guess they can. But in the same way that people in you changed so much, and Thistle changed, and so like you can.
You just have to make a new story. I don't
But
know exactly
that's
how to do that
hard.
in your world. It is hard. Because it's like your story, if you lived here, would lead you to the grove because you're being chased by something and you need shelter. But it seems like in your world, stories aren't fixed, like they change all the time.
All the time. And it's very hard to figure out where the story should go.
Not everyone gets a chance to tell their own story here. It is a little bit frightening to be responsible for where the story is supposed to go. It seems like it would be frightening all the time there to wake up every day and know that you have to decide how your story will go.
You're not wrong. It is. It is often scary. To try to make decisions that affect not only you but other people.
Yeah,
But
because they become part of your story. But it's like here because all the people that live in the grove now are part of my story. But they also each have a story.
right? Right? And you did that for them. Like you're giving them a place of protection, and that's amazing. That is such a positive impact on so many stories.
I hope so. I am trying.
You're doing a great job, River. I'm really, really proud of you.
I mean it though, you can come here. And then whatever is chasing you would get stuck in the trees.
I don't know that everything chasing us can be contained by trees. And I don't want to bring any danger to you and the creatures and their stories. But thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. This was informative.
Okay. I hope so. I want you to be safe.
Thank you. And same.
I am.
But I think you are very safe.
I think so.
All right. Okay. I will talk to you later, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, or whatever measurement of time your experience is measured in.
The Jeremy Burmy that you're living in.
Thank you. Pog.
Sir.
You and Solarka are having breakfast. Assuming you are regaling her with tales of your adventure, she is listening in rapt attention to all of your daring exploits.
The very little that I was kind of just along for the ride, following a giant punching holes in walls.
Yeah, that's the exploit she's referring to.
Ah, fair enough. The one. And Pog will. I mean, he has not kept the Colseer threat from Solarka, so the conversation, as little as he understood about why it was happening, he will share.
Sure.
And then we came home. And I think we won that. And I saw you. And then it got worse. Actually. Can I please have some bacon with breakfast this morning? I just would like just a few slices, please.
Yes, that's fine.
I get so nervous about eating it in front of you. This is a bacon kind of morning.
I just don't think it is the only thing you should eat.
I had the fruit. Yeah, was way worse in talking with Miss Thora. The Stormlords are trying to kill us, or are okay with killing us, or us dying in general, whether they're the ones doing it or not.
3 very different positions to hold.
They are helping kill us.
How are they helping to kill you?
Well, Miss Thora went to try to find out information about who knew what, I think is what she said. And what she found was a 1-page book that was about the machines and was telling people how they would be used. And a bunch of the Stormlords are helping with making them and putting them to use.
Well, that is surprising and terrible. I'm sorry.
I wish it was as surprising to me. So, I don't know. I guess we're going to get all the normal people together that aren't the powerful people. Not like normal, like not me, normal, like regular, everyday people with normal jobs or crime jobs. This is a weird city we live in.
It is a weird city, yes.
And try to I don't know, not have the Stormlords in charge anymore.
You're going to try to overthrow the Stormlords?
I think so. I think that's the route. We're not going to just straight up kill them, the bad ones. Or try to.
How will you overthrow them without killing them?
Well, if our experience from the past or anything to go off of, we're going to talk a whole lot and then wind up killing them. But maybe there will just be less people that we kill and it'll just be those Stormlords. Or we send them out of town. We've done that too.
This is frightening news.
I agree.
It sounds like you are talking about a war inside the city.
I'm pretty sure that the goal is to not have that. But I'm having a hard time figuring out how we avoid that. Because last night I was really ready for it. And I don't think that I should be that ready all the time. And this is one of those times where I wish I had better thoughts, because Ari has really good ones and they're in a direction. And I just don't know what that direction is. But he thinks we can do it. And that we can make a world that's right and not what other people want. It can be something that's good for everybody and not just for the people making those decisions. Miss Thora thought that.
Wasn't she just trying to become one of the people who makes those decisions?
She thought she could do those things with them. But that was when they just didn't really like us, and now we know that they're ready to kill us. And now I don't know if she's anything about it anymore.
Oh. I'm sorry. That's discouraging.
It is. Because I have some people that I look at the way that they think, and it helps me think good and hopefully be good. Because sometimes I have a hard time thinking those thoughts for myself. And it helps to hear them be talked through. And when one of those people doesn't want to anymore, I'm worried that I don't know the difference between not caring about doing good and doing bad.
That is a big thought.
That's why it's a bacon kind of morning.
Do you have the day off then?
I don't know for sure. Maybe. We didn't say what we were going to do. I wasn't angry with Ari, but we talked very feelings that were loud last night. And I know we left good, but we didn't say what we were going to do today. And one of the things I'm the most scared about is that there are so many things we need to do. And there's just more every day.
Is there something I can help you do? Is there something you can make there be one less thing for you to do?
If I had to guess about what my day was going to be, it was probably be talking. And you are very welcome to join for that. Which it's always better to have you around than to not. But that makes me nervous for you because that will mean a lot to the people that we talk to. Because if we start this today, it will be telling people in Stormreach that there are sides. And I don't know what that will mean for you if people know that you're on my side. Not to... picks up his orange juice and takes a big awkward gulp.
Pog, you have told me a lot about the things that you are fighting against, and I have seen it for myself some. If you start a war inside the city, what will Kulsir do?
Win, probably.
I don't know what to do with that.
This is why I said the scary thing is how much to do. Because if we go for Kulsir, we don't know what here looks like afterwards. Or if there's a here afterwards, because it's just us. We're just people. But if we don't fix here, then there's not a whole lot of reason to try to save it. For us. It's... be like fighting someone that's fighting the person that wants to hurt you.
Right. Well, if there is a lot to do, then I suppose we should go do some of it.
Pug reaches across the table and puts his hand on hers. It's going to mean a lot if you go out with us on this.
I have been on your side for a long time now. I don't hide it from anyone.
Thank you.
Ari.
Ari ducks out while Shade is having her conversation with River, heads down the stairs into the city, and heads to the House Thrashk refinery. And
Whoa.
That's interesting. All right.
Oh.
and asks after Dugrin?
Durgan, I think is how we've been
Durgan.
saying his name.
Durgan. I got just a little bit of light dyslexia in my notes. Durgan. Ari walks up to whatever kind of reception he would receive at the refinery, and I'd like to speak to
a robot
Durgan.
jumps on you. No.
Good luck, Ari.
Durgrin.
Durgrin. Okay.
2 R's.
2 R's.
Durgrin.
We
There
were
we
each
go.
missing one. We were
Yep.
both right and both
Both missing one of the R's. Just had to put our 2 pronunciations together. And that's how we ended up with Rowan. Durgrin. Okay, so you're walking in and asking for a meeting with the boss, essentially.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. The what you walk into is very much kind of a factory. There's not much of a reception area. There's not really much in the way of rooms here. It's mostly just a vast open space. There are these huge funnel-shaped hoppers that are being managed that are feeding into some very elaborate and obviously magical machinery. You can see orcs and half-orcs and humans and ogres running all around the facility, and obviously what you can see from here is that they're processing dragon shards from mining operations. There is a receptionist, I suppose. There's a half orc in the entry area, who, when you ask after Durgrin, gives you a very substantial look, and then walks away over to the floor. You see him stop and tap an ogre on the hip, and say something, jerk a thumb your direction, and an ogre lumbers over and just stands about 20 feet from you and folds his arms across his immense chest, and just stands and stares at you while you wait. You're probably waiting maybe 10 minutes.
It's loud in here, huh? Yeah.
Yes.
Did you catch Kolos's last match in the Red Ring? Crazy.
I'm very strong.
Yeah. I'm friends with the Kolos Crusher, though. Stronger.
No.
What do you mean, no?
Him fight dirty.
He fights dirt? How does he fight dirt? Please tell me everything. What do the people say about Kolos Crusher?
People stupid.
Oh, so you don't like
Kolos
the
fight strong.
Okay. I see.
Crusher fight dirty.
How did he fight dirty?
The ogre begins to opine.
Great.
on,
He's a Jake Paul fan. I can tell.
on the Kolos Crusher. After a bit, Durgrin comes walking in. He's got a towel that he's sort of wiping across his face, wiping some of the dust off of his face from whatever he was doing. He has black hair that's currently kind of streaked white with dust, and is wearing coveralls. And he steps past the ogre, thumps him on the thigh as he walks past, and the ogre turns away and stumps off back into the factory
Just
floor.
because it's innovation doesn't mean it's dirty.
And
Hi, Durgrin.
Durgrin walks over to you. Yes.
Can we just step outside the front door and chat in private just a couple minutes of your time?
Well, we can step outside the door and chat. It's not private. This is an active refinery. But it is not as loud.
Yeah.
And so he steps out the door with you.
I don't believe we've formally have we met Durgrin face to face? I don't
No.
think so. Yeah, I don't believe we've been formally introduced. I'm Ari Smith from the school.
Right. Yes.
Does Durgrin have a mark
Mm-hmm.
that can be seen? Thank you first and foremost for what you did. I appreciate it. I'm coming for two purposes. We recently got some information about some activity that not Thrash, but another house is doing that means our people, the aberrant marked people, severe harm, and that the Stormlords are passive in allowing it to happen in the city. Don't know if you know anything about that. Don't know why you even would. I imagine Kenneth is pretty tight-lipped about things they're working on. I mostly came here I like your son. He's a good kid. He has a good heart. And in my experience, that speaks very highly of you. Me and the people I run with, who I haven't marked, we know who's responsible for what's happening. And we seek to stymie the efforts of those that are doing it. But a lot of the people that are like me have been treated like animals for a long time. And when they feel cornered, they lash out at anyone they think might be responsible. And Ari's eyes move to Durgan's mark. We intend in some capacity to make news of what a house intended to do to our people public. I want to make sure that you and your family are safe by letting you know that there might be some very upset aberrant marked people upset with the houses, and I didn't want you caught off guard.
All right.
That's why I came here. So, sorry to take up any of your time, but I appreciate you letting me talk to you.
Fair enough.
Goodbye.
Durgrin nods and watches you cross the yard and off the premises.
Yep. Ari heads back to the house.
We'll say that everyone's conveniently reconvening.
What timing we all have.
Fortuitous.
Yeah, Ari walks back in and goes to the dining area where he kind of left his folder with the finished but unsent invitations, and sits down and starts staring at them.
Shade will be there. Pog, are you back? I guess if we're saying we're all coming back at the same time.
Sure. Yep. We'll say we're walking in.
Hi, gang.
Good morning.
You have a folder, and that reminds me, Pug, you said you would talk about this later, about your folder you got yesterday.
Right.
Yep.
When we're going to go up to the strike force table instead of the downstairs table?
Solarka's head swivels a little bit about that.
I had meant to say we were going to talk. I was going to talk to her about that on the walk home, but I did not.
Hi, Solarka.
Yes. It seems like the least important thing right now. The short story, told very short. You remember when we saw who I thought was my dad?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
At Omeren's place.
He is, and I know where he is now. Because if I'm around for it, would really like to know why he doesn't care. But to be honest, I got a folder about a person who didn't care about me or people like us, and then we found out that so many more people don't care about me or people like us. So it's not big on my... It's the selfish thing I need to do.
I get that.
And I couldn't promise Miss Thora that I wouldn't wind up punching him. I promise. I don't want to do more than that, but my mad at him gets very loud sometimes, and I just can't promise I wouldn't hit him. That would be all. But I couldn't tell her that.
Do you need help with any
100%, but we'll deal with that later. It's
okay.
Because that will be me asking for you guys to go with me to do something that only affects me. And so when we have that kind of time, or maybe when we're out of time on everything else, then we do that. But just sometime before I probably die.
That's a great point. Maybe sooner than later, because we don't know.
Yeah.
So
yeah. River asked if things were going okay, and it was very weird to say, nope.
Yep. See, can't lie about things sometimes.
Right.
So what are we doing?
Assuming that we've gone up to the strike force table and are not sitting at the dining table.
Sure.
I was talking up the stairs from behind you.
Ari opens the folder in front of him. Well, I went ahead last night and wrote up notes that we could send to the various leaders of the militias / gangs in the city that we want to meet with to inform of this and see what kind of traction we could gain there.
Can I see one of those?
Ari flips the one to Drago around and slides it to Pog.
What does the note say?
I mean, basically just like asking for a meeting. Like Ari has left the time and place blank to be filled in once a plan was made. But yeah, just we would like to meet with you at this time in this place to discuss some disturbing news that we received about the city. Short, sweet, simple.
Yeah, no, it's a good idea. I just think it made me scared because we're taking a piece of paper to show as proof of people being bad, and we might be nervous about having pieces of paper that have us with any kind of plans on them.
Yeah,
if people don't join us. That was all I was worried about.
Yep. Keep it vague.
That makes sense.
Don't leave anything incriminating in writing. That's what my papa always said. So.
That's weird.
Oh,
that's very weird.
A bummer.
Very troubled man. But,
I'm understanding more.
I mean, here's the thing, though. To Shade's very astute point last night, this, Ari says, gesturing to the notes, takes time that we might not have. So, a more expedited process might be what's called for, or we get the balls rolling and then we go deal with Colseer. Yes, Shade.
I was also thinking about this last night, and I don't know that they're separate issues necessarily. You made the point that if we could get the people of the town to see that the Stormlords would stand aside as they're being targeted, then I think we should also bring up we should warn them about Colseer. Like, they need to know that this city could very well be under attack, and the Stormlords are going to make a deal before they protect their people.
That's smart. That's smart, Shade.
Which could help us increase in numbers, but then also just let people know that they should be aware.
Are people going to believe you about Colseer?
Well, I mean, if we could get the
it's
super
true,
old dead guy to talk to them,
I believe believe you, and I know that you know that it's true, but just said out loud, it sounds very far-fetched.
How many people that do believe us would stay? Because we're talking about it, but we're also kind of crazy for it. And other people don't have a school full of children that they're trying to defend and a world that they're hoping to change.
But they should get that choice, shouldn't they?
Yeah. No, if people want to run, we could show them Tommel. Tommel would maybe rant about it, but then might be like, hey, you got a
I don't like any single part of that idea.
What?
We have a prisoner from Colseer's.
Did we not talk about this?
No.
Tommel's in the basement, not dead anymore.
Right. He was dead, but not now.
Oh, right. That's the big, not that we have a prisoner. Right. Order of operations. Yes.
All right. Okay.
Sorry.
Eric forgot that the shocking news wasn't we have a prisoner. Oh no, we resurrected a guy. Whoops.
Yeah. When we got to a bigger
so much
bad,
information.
We brought the other one back to life.
We needed more information on Colseer's stuff, and so we brought Tommel back.
I think there's no part of that that's a good idea, because we should not take him away from here. And we should not bring those people back to here.
I mean, I trust Dragonhawk and Lady Taurus, but you're right about Drago probably. And I trust Steeljack, but I'm a very trusting person, so.
But if you have proof,
Tommel is proof.
Do we have proof? That is Casey the player trying to remember all the things we stole from.
you have a bunch of giant artifacts, some of which used to be in museums.
I have some giant gem eyes that I stole.
Yep, you do.
And this is Colin. Demise took the tools because she knew who he was, right?
Yep.
So we can imagine that Demise has come back and gone, hey, Colseer's dude is back from the dead.
Yep.
And okay.
And we don't have a direct line to him, right? We can't just call him up and be like,
Nah.
would you speak to... Yeah.
Would you give a propaganda rally?
If we
So that
form
we
a
can get
general
everyone against you?
assembly-
Also, the problem is any person that just talks about it could be dismissed as crazy, is the problem. And any physical proof could just be an artifact. So I don't think there's any way that we can defend, short of pointing at Colseer, walking into the city and going, see, we told you.
Ah!
I don't think there's any way that we have
Would be
definitive
exactly Pog's reaction.
I was about to say that's definitely what's going to happen. It's going to come in and we're going to be like, we tried.
Told you.
The other alternative is, Ari says with a heavy breath, the first instinct that was thrown out there last night of taking the Stormlords head on.
What does head on mean?
I think that's the war that we were talking about earlier, is what that would be. And I didn't think
I
that
thought
was...
the war was the other thing where you talk the gangs into rising up against them.
Yeah, that's the war I'm talking about.
Well, I think war is just what's going to happen then.
But we could also just kill some of the storm.
That's what I was referencing.
True.
He said head on, but we would take their
Take
heads
their
off.
heads off.
Inspiration, Casey.
Outstanding.
Get the guillotines.
Outstanding.
And their families also?
No, God no.
Then won't their families just take over?
But
That is a thing that I thought of last night, is if we just kill the current Stormlords, then it doesn't solve the thing.
it's true.
I think is eventually where I made it. It feels sometimes like killing solves the thing, but I don't know that it does in here and then now. Yeah. Good point, Celerica.
The other option is we go after Colseer. And this can be a tomorrow problem. Metaphorically, not literally in 24 hours before anybody says that.
So the concern with that is that if we, I mean, honestly, we might fail at that. He's really strong, and we don't have a ton of people on our side. So if we were to fail, the people in town still don't know what could be coming. And Solarka's right. Like, we don't have proof, but we still have to say the true thing, even if we sound crazy. right? That's
Oh, yes. 100%. So do we want to have the meeting with the head? The other option is just go to the market square and start talking about what the information we have, but I don't imagine that'll be efficient and probably would just get us killed or arrested.
We just got done with people laughing at us and pointing. We should probably not just jump straight back into that.
Yeah.
Are they done doing that?
Mostly.
Okay.
Now they just want to kill us.
A very specific subgroup of people want to kill us.
It's a
Not
lot
people.
more than it should be.
Some people. Well, yes. I mean, I would love to live a life where not a single person wanted to kill me, but fate decided another path. And then some weird hooded guy made it worse. Ari says, gesturing to his body.
So it's... I do not like this from Philip.
I don't know how you expect us to ignore that, but...
What? What are you talking about?
Yeah, no. You're super mellow right now.
I didn't have any dice at hand, so I had to use the digital ones.
All right, so who would we want to communicate this to? I have the
For
leaders
the
of
viewers,
leadership
I rolled a die on D&D Beyond. It's
with a
19.
specific name attached to the roll. Philip.
Oh, well, that's just because I needed access to dice. Yeah, sorry.
I was waiting for
Why
her
is
to
Gnarly
kick in.
rolling right now?
There's no way for me to access just dice
Okay.
without a character sheet. So
I
yeah,
was waiting for her to come exploding
I
in,
just
carrying
needed a D20.
heads in her hands. Are those snacks or trophies? What's happening?
It's just the heads of the Stormlords.
Can you guys hold these for a second?
Ilya
please?
said you wanted these.
She lied.
We've been out all night. What are you?
Well, problem solved.
That's amazing.
And so many more
I mean,
creators.
that's also an option. That's option
That is
4
true.
that you haven't discussed.
We just hire
Tell
out
the Moon
Gnarly.
Spears, could you please kill this list of people for us?
I promise I was about to say this
I'm
as
so
Ari.
sorry.
No, we could tell the Moon Spears about the situation, what's going on, just so they're informed, and also, they live in they live city adjacent. No, they live in the city. Just a lot of people live adjacent.
They have camps in the city.
I don't think there's
we
any
should
reason
definitely
why
tell them.
the people we know are on our side should not know today.
Yeah,
Yeah, we agreed.
but I'm saying,
With
do we invite them to the meeting as like
Yes.
a representative of a group within the city?
Yes, because, and Pog looks at Solarka, people are already not scared to stand with us on these things, and we should show that we're not alone.
There's one last one that I wrote, and Ari reaches the bottom of the pile and slides out, and it just says red at the top. We haven't met with them, but they are a big entity in the city, and they are the head of the Titans, which are literally and figuratively a big entity in the city.
Several big entities.
The problem is they are the definition of an unknown quantity. They could be an asset. They could stab us in the back. It seems like they're interested in helping the city based on the actions of the Titans since they took over. Stop it with the eyebrows, Solarka.
She can't help it when Pog's in the room.
Oh, shucks. So if
What
we're
do we-
going to use Tommel to convince people, then we're saying that we need to bring everyone here.
I don't think we need to. We don't. That was just an idea I had when we said we were trying to find some kind of proof. I think Tommel's just. He is a raving crazy person, but I think anything he says can be dismissed as that. So I don't think he provides definitive proof that we were hoping. So I think we leave Tom locked in the basement. And we just go and we tell our story. We explain how the earthquake was a result of Colseer's followers. We explain how the Sogwin attack was a result of Colseer's followers. They are coming for the city. We explain all the information we have and what we've done to get to this place. And if that's not enough to convince these people that we have fought alongside and helped and bled for, then so be it. Plus Red, whoever they are.
So then,
So,
oh, good heavens. Meanwhile,
there's suddenly,
like
you
that
hear a voice. Not like in the room with you, clearly from
Worse.
outside,
Oh,
Okay.
God.
but loud. Like, I mean, as if someone were speaking through, as if there were amplifiers attached to every light post in your in your hometown, and someone began speaking through all of them at once.
Okay.
People of Stormreach, I, the Morning Star, Imperator of the Dominion, address you, my rightful subjects. We staying put?
I think we're relieved of burden of proof. Let's go out in the
I-
streets and see what's happening.
oh boy,
100% they'll believe us
running.
now. But yeah,
Running
yes, running
downstairs.
outside, yelling
So-
in the dining room for the kids to get to a safe space.
So all over the city, there are these things, and they've never really come up before. That people in the city call the circles of visions. And the circles of visions are these weird old things from the ancient giant era, and no one's really sure what their initial purpose was. But occasionally, an image will appear in one, like in the spell major image or something like that, as if it's broadcasting from somewhere, but it's always like broken and messed up and usually like irrelevant. As if you were accidentally picking up pieces of a weather report from 500 years ago. Like, they're just a weird phenomenon of Stormreach, but they're scattered all over the city. As you hit the porch, you can see, in spite of your substantially elevated position, you can see Colseer. You can see an image of Colseer. You can see several images of Colseer standing like towers scattered around the city. You can tell that he isn't physically there. There's just the slightest transparency to it. I have returned to my own, and I will set the world to rights. But I come not with ill intent to you. I require of you a display of loyalty and fealty to your rightful Lord and Emperor. There is among you one who is an ally, who knows the location of the Sphinx Harazi. By tomorrow's noon, this person will reveal that location to me. Or I will come to this city and seek for them. Even if I must raise the city to the ground. And the image fades. And I think that is where we will end this episode. So, I need you guys to believe me. The reason of that dice roll. Once we'd gotten to a certain point, I had planned that this would eventually happen, but when exactly it would happen, I wasn't sure, so I decided that I would just, each day that you guys took after a certain point, I would check, and there would be a 10% chance of Kulsir. Did not anticipate that the first time that I rolled, I would roll a 19.
Yep.
By the way,
Cloudy with a 10% chance of Kulsir.
First session run out of this beautiful binder made for me
gorgeous.
by our good friend Laura.
Gorgeous.
Lazy Fox Creates.
Check out
Go
Lazy
check
Fox
out
Creates.
Lazy Fox Creates on Etsy. For
Delightful.
amazing leather things. Thank you all so much for watching this episode of Khyber Shards. If you'd like to get in touch with us, you can do so in comments below, as well as at various links in the description, including links to our Discord, to the Geek Pantheon YouTube channel, to Colin's Twitch, where he's sorry BTR, the O is a 0, to our merch store and various other places where you can contact us or support the show. Thank you all so much for watching. New Khyber Shards come out on Monday. New Khyber Shards answers on Fridays. And until next time, thanks for rolling with us.